Hello and welcome to the Helios blog. My name is Helios here for another reaction video. Today, Matthew Hussey explains why we're too nice in relationships. Let's get into it.
The reason she's alone is because she's difficult.
Women are not accepting the bare minimum.
Women fuck men they respect.
All the women who say things like, I'm strong, independent, I don't need no man, like, y'all impress me.
Women just gaslight each other and say what they want to hear.
Why is it we become too nice with someone we like? There is an interesting switch, isn't there, between, it's almost like a before and after. There's the, and sometimes, by the way, there's barely any before. Sometimes you've decided that from the moment you see someone, you look at them across the room in a public setting, they're a stranger who just walked into the place where you are having your lunch on your work break. And it's not even a conscious thing. You don't think to yourself, I want this person. You just immediately feel drawn to this person. And there is the fear and the nerves that go with that. Because now if you ask yourself, why do I feel so nervous about talking to this person, about the idea of approaching this person, if I was even thinking of approaching this person? And it's because we've decided, all in the space of a second, we've decided they're incredibly attractive and that we really want them. Now, sometimes it takes longer. Sometimes we can know someone for a little bit. We can go on a couple of dates with them. And there's a moment where we tip over into, oh, I really like this person.
Okay. Again, just because you like someone is not a good enough reason to just do whatever they say and whatever they want. You have your own goals for your life, what you want to do, what you want to accomplish. And no girl is worth compromising that. Because ultimately, women are attracted to you based on your frame. Of course, she's attracted to you based on what you provide to the relationship. But frame is one of them. I'm the leader. I'm going to do what I want. I'm going to do as I plan.
Maybe I thought they were attractive. Maybe I thought there was something, they were cute. Maybe I thought they were even a little bit sexy or something, or maybe I just thought they were interesting. And that was enough to get me on a date with them. But somewhere along the way, whether it was late in date one, whether it was on date three, or whether it was in the kind of phone calls that we were having with someone in between, there's just a moment where someone says or does something, and it's been, our liking them has maybe been building a little bit, but we haven't really noticed. And then all of a sudden there's a moment of connection. There's a moment of the way someone thinks or...
What Matthew is describing is actually a very masculine way of falling in love, right? Men look for reasons to qualify, but actually that's not how women work. Women look for reasons to disqualify. So women are looking for, why should I not be with this guy? And if you pass enough of the why should I not be with this guy, then she wants to be with you. All right. Oh, so maybe it is, but from the other direction. All right. Shilling time. Hit the like, hit the sub, hit all for notifications. Buy my books at bit.ly/heliosbooks. Drop me a donation like Hunter M, Adrian and Tom M. Shout outs to them. Shout outs to Curry Kid being the last person to buy a strategist guide to seduction. I really do appreciate it. Go to my Patreon and subscribe. Patreon.com/theheliosblog. And of course, share this video if you like it. All right. Let's continue.
There could even be a little goofy thing that they did or something that just makes you go, oh, I really like them. And that is the moment typically where we start changing the way that we behave around them. And it's a subtle thing because it's like they became instantly, they became in the, between that before and after, on that line, they became significantly more important to us. And when someone becomes more important to us, And even if for superficial reasons, right? You could see someone in a coffee shop and they immediately become important to you because you think they're so attractive and you want them so badly. But when someone becomes important to us in that way, or to some need we're trying to meet, the stakes suddenly become very high.
Right, and people that are risk averse, and women tend to be more risk averse, are going to then compromise themselves more. I mean, in an ideal scenario, a girl would compromise herself more than you're compromising for her, ideally. And the reason why that would be ideal is because when a girl is compromising herself more than you as the man are compromising yourself, it means you have the leverage, you have the frame. And if you have the leverage, the frame, and you're a strong man, then you're able to lead the relationship where you want, which is going to be down a positive path. Because usually, if a girl is leading the relationship, she's leading it into the ground. Whereas you as a man, if you're leading the relationship, you're going to lead it in a positive direction. Usually, if you're a strong man, if you're a man that's, that has those leadership qualities that will organically build as you're trying to make yourself into a superior man, right?
And when the stakes become high, the cost of mistakes feels great. So now we don't want to make any mistakes. Now we want to perform perfectly, because we don't want to do anything that could scare this person away, anything that could get us rejected, anything that could ruin this thing that we've decided we want and is important to us. So now begins all of the behavioral patterns that you see when it feels like the stakes are really high. You see it in sports too, by the way. Someone can be playing a casual game with their friends and having the game of their life, but suddenly throw them into an environment that's a competition environment, or something that actually feels like, oh, you need to win this, or it feels important. And all of a sudden the game goes out of the window. Some of this I'm setting up.
That's about frame, right? You as the man, you need to keep your eye on the prize, right? Regardless of how you're feeling. That's actually part of what being a man is holding it all together, even when things are difficult. That's not easy to do, but you can do it.
Because within everything I've said are some of the clues as to how we might begin to redress the balance and regain some of our personal power in the situation. Because it's a kind of a sad thing that happens. Some of it is natural. Like someone's just going to become more important to you, and as they do, the stakes feel higher. We get a bit more nervous. Or in some ways, all of that is just a part of romance. To have none of that would be it would be a small tragedy, firstly, because we just wouldn't get to feel some of those wonderful things that we like to feel early on and that propel us forward. But the danger becomes when all of that becomes too great. It's the same with getting on stage. Having some nerves before getting on stage can be a wonderful thing. It can engage you in the process. It can make you do your best. It shows you that there's something you care about in this performance. To have none would be, I think, a disadvantage. But to have so many that you become a different performer on stage than your best, or that you get stage fright and don't go on stage altogether, that's where the problems arise. So maybe we could just start by highlighting what are some of the things that we do when we have put someone on a pedestal in this way.
So again, for a man, if you put a girl on a pedestal, you're going to have a very bad time. Women are not worthy of being put on a pedestal. And let me explain why. Women are hypergamous. So what that means is a woman for a relationship wants a man that's better than her in every single way. Taller, stronger, fitter, faster, smarter, more friends, better friends, more charismatic, better than her in every single way. So if she's in a relationship with you, you're at least better than her in one way, but usually you're better than her in multiple ways. And if that's the case, She should be putting you on a pedestal. So if you're putting her on a pedestal, you're subcommunicating to her that she's above you. So you're destroying her attraction for you by doing that. You are actually the prize. Because, especially in 2023, girls are not looking for an average man. If they're choosing you, and if more than one girl is choosing you, it means you are superior in multiple ways. So don't sell yourself short. And when she pedestalizes you, that means you have the frame, you have the leverage. So now you're going to lead the relationship in a positive direction. So what do I mean? Well, you're going to mold her to go away from things that destroy relationships and towards things that help you. So you're going to move her away from using social media. You're going to move her away from using dating apps. You're going to move her away from having terrible friends that sleep around. You're going to move her away from using dating apps that I already mentioned that. You're going to move her towards exercise. You're going to move her towards cooking and cleaning. You're going to move her towards, doing what you want in bed. You're going to move her towards pleasant, submissive, cooperative behavior. She wants to follow, so lead her where she needs to go. Erase the qualities in her that you don't like and encourage the qualities you do like. If she doesn't have qualities you like, don't date her. If she's just pretty, but everything else is a gigantic red flag and she's clearly slept around a lot, well, I'm sorry. You can't work with that. If she's too old, you can't work with that. Just keep that in mind, guys.
When we start to think the stakes are impossibly high, what are some of the damaging behaviors that we engage in?
Well, I think one of the ones we do is we stop focusing on connection. I mean, we're in LA, right? It's the same idea. If people see famous people or they're interacting at a party with famous people, you start behaving in a way where you're trying to dance over laser beams to make sure that you say the right thing that they like or they agree with you. And then you're stifled. You're not really being who you are. You're not focusing on connecting with the human being in front of you. You're like, hopefully I can do the right Jedi mind tricks and the right phrases that are gonna light them up, and I'll agree with them on the right opinions. So I don't always even think of it as us being too nice. I think of it as us being overthinking and being really closed up and tight. And that tight energy, people can kind of sense that you're not really just letting it out who you are.
Being too nice is a byproduct, right? That's a symptom of the things that we're talking about.
Being too nice as a man means you're not able to say no. And if you're not able to say no, which is the most powerful word in the English language, then you're not able to get what you want. If you're not able to get what you want, your girl will cheat on you or leave you for a man who can. So you need to grow a pair of balls and tell the girl when you're not happy with something. Because ultimately, it's your job to lead her in the direction you want. I don't like that you did this. You need to do this. Try this. Thank you for this. I appreciate this. Don't do that. I don't like that. You see? You're doling out praise and criticism such that her behavior is molded in a direction that makes you happy. Keep that in mind.
Because what happens is, if you're a comedian who's so scared of hurting anyone's feelings, then you're going to end up on stage being just someone who's very nice.
Exactly, yeah.
And you're not going to have any of that edge that makes some people not feel like you're that great, and some people think, oh my god, I would go see this person live anytime, because they say the thing. And if you're afraid to say the thing because you're afraid you're going to scare off an audience, then you become so middle of the road that you end up not standing out in any way. And the same happens in attraction.
Sorry to interrupt my own video, but I have...
Nope. We're skipping this advertisement.
When I was younger and more insecure, all of texting women when I was like a teenager was all about, I hope I'm saying the right opinion, or what's the exact text that's going to be correct. Instead of saying like what I feel in the moment and this is funny or this is like me and I'm just connecting, it was all like, am I saying too much, too little? Is this...
Yep. So what he's describing is a symptom that many of the false reality that many men are taught, which is this reality. Many men are taught that in order to get the feminine, you have to associate with the feminine. You have to agree with them. But actually, that's not true. Because women find disagreeable men more attractive. So the man that's able to say... So for example, and it can be as small and stupid as an opinion she has, right? About something small. So it doesn't have to be about her political beliefs. It could be like, for example, she says, I love chocolate ice cream. You can say, chocolate ice cream is terrible. Right? You're not afraid to disagree. And that actually makes you more attractive. She says, I love insert X artist here, a musician. And you say, no, their music is garbage. They're terrible. The point is, you being able to say no and being able to disagree, although it seems on the surface to be bad, it's actually good because it shows, think about what it says for the future. In the future, you have children together. Those kids want something. Well, kids don't always want what's good for them. So you tell them, no, this is bad for you. I'm not giving you this. And then they're going to complain and cry. And you're going to say, well, I don't care because I know best. But do you see how you disagreeing about that ice cream thing is directly related? It's exactly the same thing. All right, let's continue.
It's the right joke? Is this corny? Is this geeky? And then you're just lost. You're just in a complete like maze of just trying to like outguess.
No. That's not what it is. You're trying to validate the girl in order to get what you want. You're trying to be a nice guy to get laid. But it doesn't work. Being a nice guy doesn't get you laid. Being a nice guy gets you used and discarded. You, as a man, need to have your eye on the prize. Every second. I want to sleep with this girl. So I'm not thinking about texting her. I'm thinking about logistics. How can I get this girl alone? How can I get this girl in a place where I can sleep with her? How can I set up the emotional connection such that she wants to have bedroom fun? You're not thinking about what is the right thing to say in text about this stupid topic that I don't care about. No, eye on the prize. Text for logistics. Texting a girl is just giving a validation for nothing. You're not receiving any positive benefit in return, so there's no point in giving the benefit. You can text your girl later for the purpose of establishing where she is so that you can make sure she's safe, but that's different than having long texting conversations with your girl. You should have better things to do than have long texting conversations with your partner, with your girlfriend, or your whatever, your friends with benefits. All right, let's continue.
What you should be saying.
It strikes me that what happens is the goal, somewhere without us even realizing it, the goal gets switched to something that's really unhelpful and really actually it tends to lead us down the wrong path. When we're on our own and we want to find love, there's a purity to the goal. I want to find an amazing connection. I want to find my soulmate. I want to find a wonderful love.
That's what women say.
But what happens is when we find someone we think is great, very quickly, it's almost as if our ego co-opts that goal and hijacks it and says, the goal is no longer finding real love. The goal is to win over this person.
I actually disagree with this. I think that an agreeable person thinks like that. But not all people are agreeable. But women tend to be agreeable. So this may be how women respond to relationships, but not necessarily men. And if the girl's goal is to win you over, that's great. That she should have that as a goal.
And when that happens, we get led astray very, very quickly. Because if you think about the things that create real love and reveal real love, it's, okay, I think you're wonderful and really impressive as a human, and I feel a connection to you, and I feel drawn to you. But I also need to be able to be myself around you. And I need to learn whether that is something you're able to make space for. And the only way I will learn that is by revealing myself. Otherwise, I will never know. I will never know if your space can hold, your life can hold space for me, and I'll never know if you fully accepted me. So I can only learn that during the dating process by, in stages, being more vulnerable, revealing more about myself, letting you in. And when you do something I don't like, or that disagrees with my values in a way that I feel unhappy about, I have to be able to talk about that with you.
That's right. Exactly.
To see, not if we'll agree on everything, but to see if we can negotiate differences and disagreements, and if we can come to a place that works for both of us in that challenge, and vice versa. Then I'll know whether the two of us can weather disagreements together. I need to know if we have some kind of conflict or tension about something that it's safe for us to argue. And if, whether it's a romance or a friendship or even a colleague in a company, I need to know if our relationship can be robust enough to endure and survive conflict. And when I learn that, because I know the strongest relationships in my life are the ones that have actually already endured and survived real conflict. And the fact that we've survived that conflict means that both of us feel more safe and secure. Because we go, oh, we've fought before. Now when we fight again, we also both have that kind of in our muscle memory that, oh, we fought before and we got through it before. So I don't need to worry that this fight means that the relationship is over. And that's true of any kind of relationship.
Actually, I would say this about fighting or disagreeing. You should go into every disagreement not worried about it ending, because if it ends, it means the girl didn't like you anyway, right? If she wanted you to be a yes man that said yes to every single thing that she wanted and you know, complained every second that you didn't do that, it would actually be very bad for you. It would, and bad for you in the long term, and bad for any relationship. So it's totally okay to argue and to point out things you don't like.
So the things that allow us to see whether, if you define real love not by a feeling of being enamored and infatuated, if you define real love by the ability to be robust in the relationship together, to continue to give to it in a consistent way, to be able to stand the test of time and weather differences and show up for each other in spite of those differences. If we define real love by that, then the only, and I should add into that, the feeling accepted by somebody else, the only way to arrive at a place of knowing that you have real love by those definitions is to do all of the things we're afraid to do when we like someone a lot.
So to get to the deeper issue there then, which I know Audrey will be a fan of because she likes getting to the deeper issue, is it that when we don't do any of that and we don't bring up those things, on some level do we feel that we're not enough. We're not worthy of being considered by this person, our needs, if we say something that's in conflict with them. Or with a famous person, we feel I shouldn't disagree with this person or say that I think they're wrong because you are walking into that room feeling you are not worthy of being considered in that way.
It's so funny. I was actually going to say exactly that point, which is I think when humans interact, they like to know where they stand with each other. That's why boundaries are important. Boundaries make us feel safe, and they make us sort of be able to see a whole person for who they are.
Boundaries are extremely important, especially as a man, because we are not out here just letting girls do and say whatever they want. That's why boundaries are important. Because if we let a girl do and say whatever she wants, then we're going to get destroyed.
They are, and where can I push it? Where can I not? What is this person's parameters? And when somebody is just pleasing and being agreeable all the time, you know, what we see as somebody, I don't even think it's conscious. I think subconsciously what we read is that person doesn't have any boundaries. They don't respect themselves. And therefore that's not interesting to me because I can walk all over them. And I think our ability to be able to stand up for ourselves, speak up when we have an issue with something, not have to be agreeable all the time is actually... The reason it builds attraction is because it shows confidence and it shows a level of self-assurance and the fact that we have our own backs and our own needs backs.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree. It's very important as a man that you know what your needs are and that you're willing to back them up. Because if you're not, a fool and his time are soon parted. A fool and his money are soon parted. And a fool and his relationship are also soon parted. And I think we'll end the video there. Hit the like, hit the sub, hit all for notifications. Drop me a donation like Hunter M, Adrian R, and Tom M. Shoutouts to them. Buy my books at bit.ly/heliosbooks. Shoutouts to Curry Kid, being the most recent to subscribe. To buy my book, The Strategist's Guide to Seduction. Really appreciate it. I also have another one called Quotes to Live By. Go to my Patreon and subscribe, patreon.com/theheliosblog. And I've recently added a subscription button for the podcast. So if you click on the description box for the actual podcast, you'll see a link to the subscription for on Buzzsprout there. And you can go and support me there as well. All right. Thank you so much, everybody. Especially if you took the time to listen to the end. I really do appreciate it. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time.